Hey, and welcome to episode 5 of Levi with Levi. This is just an episode of me going through whatever I'm going through. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna share, but we'll find out. It's interesting how we, and I'm talking about me, um, I'm always, there's always a part of me that will never be okay with what's happening. Or maybe okay with what's happening, but kind of as soon as that is something is over, it's like this immediate hole that kind of the ego wants to fill, I guess. Or there's a lot of thoughts about it should have been like this, or I wish it was like this, or this and this, and that's like that's like after looking back kind of a little bit at my summer, which has been extremely fun and rewarding, and and then it's just there's just no there's just no I don't think, or I'm starting to get more and more proof that it will never be enough. It will never ever be enough for me as a person. So no matter kind of how fantastic life is as it is, even that's kind of not enough for the ego, or like my thoughts, I guess. Which is just another great reason not to listen to the thoughts, because the thoughts, they just don't know what they're talking about. They really don't. The thoughts, they just want to talk. And that's it's irrelevant what the thoughts are saying, and it's even irrelevant kind of how I'm doing or whatever, I'm just, yeah, I'm just feeling very peaceful right now. So honestly, it doesn't feel like the right time to record this. But it's just this, you kind of, when you gotta see these thoughts for what they are, and how ridiculous it is, and how it's never going to stop, and it's always going to be asking for more. It's kind of like it kind of loses its hold even more. It's just it's just an absurd concept. Never being satisfied. So the only way to be, uh, I guess, to be not satisfied is to just live kind of alongside these thoughts as if it's some sort of a crazy person riding along with you, and you just have to accept this crazy person and start to understand where this crazy person is coming from, because it's not without reason that all these thoughts are coming, but we don't need to let them um, run our lives in any way. I think that's I think that's just wonderful. And I was talking with someone earlier today about kind of kids and how present they are, and maybe they're really upset before they go to bed because they don't want to sleep. So it's like quite a bit of drama, and then the next morning, they wake up and it's like it never happened. It's just like it never happened. And that just brings me to this feeling of, not attaching to kind of the past and the future. That's really what it's all about. Like the thoughts are always about the past or the future. So if we're attached to that, we will be weighed down by the past or the future. And that will limit us in our lives. Yeah, so just being here, chilling, being okay with the crazy person in our head, while at the same time kind of enjoying whatever's happening around us, and what's happening in front of us, and all the things we get to experience in this life. It is it is really cool, and yeah, it's kind of I've been going around a lot lately with this feeling of kind of awe and wonder, and you kind of just become more interested in everything along the way, like if you're out on a walk or anywhere, I guess. But for me, it kind of very easy to kind of tap into that awe and wonder when I'm out in nature, because there's so much interesting and beautiful stuff there. But I think we kind of need to just breathe and get in touch with kind of get in touch with this non-rushed version of ourselves that is kind of able to notice how beautiful it is and all the small things that are happening. And you know uh like, I wonder what's going to happen if I look down in this river for a while. Like, what's going to happen? Is it will it come a fish? That just suddenly feels very exciting. Like, what if it comes a fish, in this river? uh, or yeah, one day it came a beaver kind of swimming and kind of found like a stick and kind of brought it to its lair, and like stuff like that is just, when you sit down and or even just walk a little bit slower, just pay attention to what's happening. It is so much interesting stuff happening, but it's also easy to get caught up in other stuff. If you're on your way somewhere, you're on your way to, maybe you made a plan to go to a bakery and have a coffee and a cake or something. And if that becomes too important, then the journey there is kind of losing some of its magic, I guess. And I think that's very easy to do, and also kind of get caught up in thoughts as you walk along the track, and maybe suddenly you walked for quite a bit without noticing anything because you've been thinking about something, future, past. But that's okay, you know. It's like it's always possible to kind of connect back in with this awe and wonder kind of state, I guess. When you notice that you're not anymore. I usually notice just being a little bit more tense, and I'm noticing my thoughts are kind of typically stressing about something. That's a really good indicator that I'm kind of not, yeah, not that connected to myself, I guess. And then it's just the practice of kind of finding back into that space and keep enjoying whatever's going on in front of me. And I've also been kind of noticing lately how when walking around, just looking at, you know, people and thinking about myself, maybe there's something I'm a little bit scared of, and all these things, like how all these kind of judgments about ourselves, about other people, about yeah, about anything really, or you know, fear about something you're stressing about, or something you want to do but you're not doing it, like all of these things is kind of like I feel like they're, yeah, they can very easily kind of pull you a little bit out of a space, but or I mean this kind of space where life feels magical, kind of, and yeah, okay, I lost my train of thought a little bit, but yeah, I just saw a plane on the sky over here, so that kind of brought me a little bit off track. But I was saying something about thoughts and yeah, getting a little bit pulled out of this awe and wonder state, and yeah, because of fear and judgment and all this stuff. And I've kind of been noticing how like with everything you observe, it doesn't have like the same effect on you, kind of. So I feel like kind of observing myself being afraid doesn't, I don't think it kind of affects you in the same way as just being afraid. You know, it's like getting kind of sucked into the fear. It's more like, oh yeah, that feels like fear, you know, just kind of observing it and kind of staying in this state of kind of feeling centered, I guess, is kind of something. Yeah, and yeah, I think that's it with more or less anything we're going through. It's just observing it is the best way to, it's the best way to untangle it. I mean, like anything we try to fix, you know, with like solving the problem is immediately problematic because there aren't any problems. Like this moment, with all my faults, is, you know, what it's supposed to be. There's not a problem here. It is things to learn, you know. It's things to observe, it's things to experience, for sure. But right now, there's not really yeah, there's nothing to fix, you know. I've just had this feeling so many times of just seeing myself trying to fix things and kind of think my way out of things. But even that is just, it's not possible. It's kind of like what I was talking about earlier, and all these things we can never get enough. You know, it will never be good enough for the thoughts in a way. Um, yeah, and it's it's the same here. Um, it's the same here. I'm just laughing a bit because I don't remember exactly what I was saying. But I remember I was gonna say that it was the same, so I just went with it. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this feels like a weird episode to me, but I've also really enjoyed recording it. Um, yeah, I have. So yeah, I feel I feel really chilled. I'm not sure if that's like it feels like the wrong energy to bring into an podcast episode of anything. But you know, it is what I'm kind of expressing in this moment. And honestly, I wasn't even planning on like recording an episode. I think I was just taking up the camera to kind of see how I looked or something like that. And then I just started recording, and suddenly I'm now 17 minutes into this episode. So yeah, I find that to be quite fascinating. Yeah, so I guess if I'm gonna kind of wrap this up somehow, if that's what I'm gonna do, it's yeah, just stop trying to fix anything. Um, like your situation, like I mean, it's more like yeah, I had this thought earlier of kind of like yeah, I don't know. That's gonna take us on a new new trail. Uh, yeah, or maybe it will not. Anyway, I feel like I've said what I wanted to say right now, and yeah, it's nothing to fix. I mean, we're good, you know. It's just observing ourselves and the world. I think we'll untangle whatever needs to be untangled in the right and appropriate time. So yeah, there's nothing to fix. All right, thank you for listening. Have a good day.